We're an inner city school district. We currently have 43 schools, and one of those schools is a K-12 virtual school. We are a completely Title I district. All of our students are on free lunches. We work very closely with our mayor and our city officials on school-wide academic initiatives for behavior, different things, because those are high needs in our district.
We're just doing a lot to really meet the needs of all of our students. Just because we're high poverty doesn't mean that we can't be high achieving. When we meet the needs of our students, we see the students perform academically. So I think we do a really good job of working with the population that we serve.
The culture here is amazing. The students are amazing. They are go-getters. The teachers here, they have created their own environment in their classrooms, where the students feel welcomed, where they want to learn.
One of the things that the pandemic has really taught us is that we really have to be very sensitive to all of those things outside of education, because those things affect what happens inside of education. And many of our teachers had eye-opening experiences looking into the homes of students via Zoom.
My students, some of them have to be the adults in the house. So it's just like their priorities are different when they get home.
COVID brought about a realization of the inequities that our students face. So we were challenged by our district leadership, our superintendent, to develop instructional frameworks that all teachers could use and understand. Principals would be able to utilize it to identify effective components of a lesson to ensure that the delivery across the district was consistent, so that we could start moving the needle as a system and not just in isolated schools.
I said, if we can't do something innovative after a global pandemic, when can we do something different?
We also knew we had to have standards aligned resources. We felt like one curriculum K-12 would help us to align our instructional practices across the district. We did not want K-5 or 6-8 or 9-12 utilizing different resources.
If we had common inputs, we can have common outputs. So we made sure we had a uniform curriculum. That's what Savvas came in.
Something that enVision does, it ups that level. We're building their knowledge on what it is that they need to help them be successful on those standardized tests. We all know that across the state of Alabama and just across the world right now, that the literacy and math scores are not where they're supposed to be. So just being able to have a program like this, and especially where everybody is comfortable with using Savvas, I feel like that'll help.
We wanted to make sure that we had a concise, uniform academic delivery system, and that's where those 6 T's came in.
So we're going to start with your learning target, identify what you're planning to teach. Then you're going to identify the teaching method, whether it's going to be whole group, small group, explicit instruction, is it going to be a collaborative lesson? And then you need to identify what will be the task, the technology that you're going to use as your mode for the lesson. What will students be working on? What math problem will they solve? Then you're going to talk. What actions or questions will you put in the lesson to ensure that students really are obtaining the standard? And then the test. What formative assessment will be added to that lesson to know that students have learned the material? The research is clear. These models have been around for years, and the evidence-based practices demonstrate that they work when they're done consistently. We wanted to make sure that the professional learning was composed of opportunities for teachers at all levels. You can really turn teachers off if you're constantly giving them PD at the same level every time. We have to diversify our levels of professional learning to ensure that PD is something that they are going to find useful, something that they can take back and utilize immediately in the classroom, and not the same old message over and over and over again.
We had a presenter that came in the first week in August, and that by far was the best presenter. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was the best presenter. She went more in depth with what we needed. She actually showed us how to go in and create an assignment where we could choose our questions, just different things like that, stuff that we really needed.
We have 15 extra days called intersessions, where students who are needing extra instruction can be invited to school when school is out during our fall break, winter break, and spring break, and actually come to the school and get extra interventions.
Our goal was to provide more instruction for students because, like our data shows, they learn when they're with us. And so we partnered with this organization called Parker. And Parker looks at data, and they were able to look at our students who participated in intersession, the number of times they participated, what their scores were prior to, what their scores were after, and compare them to scores with students that didn't attend intersession. And what they found was, particularly in the elementary level, the scores exploded. Our kids really performed.
We have seen an increase in our math data across the board. Many districts saw a dip in their math data. We saw an increase. I mean, it wasn't, we're not proficient. We're not nowhere where we want to be. However, we are moving, and a couple of percentage points is huge when you've been always going further and further back. So our trajectory is headed in the correct direction.
We are outperforming where we were before a global pandemic, which is a testament to the work of our teachers and our administrators who really bought into the plan and really implemented the plan to fidelity.
I think the initial success that we received in math was because of multiple factors. I think utilizing that aligned curriculum gave teachers a common academic language for vocabulary. The curriculum we purchased aligns with our instructional design. And then, of course, the professional learning. We made sure that we provided teachers targeted professional learning on high-stakes standards that really need to be taught at every grade level.
They turn, they talk, they participate, they go up to the board. They have their ownership, their accountability, and what it is that they're doing. Now, if I can embed that in them for the rest of their lives, I feel like I've done my job.
I think the pandemic really opened our eyes to a lot of things that were just under the surface, and people felt real comfortable in their lives, not seeing what was right in front of them. And the pandemic pulled that veneer away. I hope that we always stay conscious of the needs of the individuals that we serve and don't ever go back to the point where just because they show up at my school every day, that means they're okay. But they may be going home to lives that you couldn't even imagine on your worst day. And that is what they deal with every day. So I just hope that we are always in tune to supporting our students.